Did you know that medieval peasants ate vegetables so rare they vanished from our plates for centuries? What if I told you these forgotten crops are making a comeback in modern farms and kitchens? Stick around, because I'm about to reveal 5 medieval vegetables you've never heard of, and why they're about to change the way you eat forever. Let's dive into a world where food was strange, survival was tough, and these odd plants were the key to thriving in the brutal Middle Ages. Picture yourself in a muddy medieval village, smoke curling from thatched roofs, the air thick with the scent of freshly turned soil. It's the year 1200, and peasants didn't have grocery stores or refrigeration. They relied on what they could grow, and their gardens were filled with bizarre vegetables that would make your supermarket cashier blink twice. These weren't your average carrots or potatoes. These were plants with wild flavors, strange shapes, and stories that'll blow your mind. Today, we're unearthing 5 of these lost crops, and trust me, you'll be amazed at how they're sneaking back into our lives. Which of these do you think deserves a spot on your dinner table? Drop your guess in the comments below. Let's start with a vegetable so peculiar it was once thought to have magical powers: the skirret. Imagine a bundle of skinny, knobby roots that look like a cross between a parsnip and a ginseng plant. Skirret was a medieval superstar, grown across Europe from England to Germany. Its sweet, nutty flavor made it a favorite in stews and pies, especially during long winters when fresh food was scarce. Monks in monasteries prized it, believing it boosted stamina for their endless hours of prayer. But here's the kicker. Skirret was a pain to grow. It needed rich, wet soil and constant care, which is why it fell out of favor when easier crops like carrots came along. Fast forward to today, and farmers in places like Vermont and Oregon are bringing it back. Why? Because chefs are obsessed with its unique taste, describing it as a mix of chestnut and honey. Imagine roasting skirret with a drizzle of olive oil for your next dinner party. Your guests would be floored. Have you ever tried a vegetable that tastes like dessert? Let me know in the comments and tell me if you'd give skirret a shot. Now, skirret's story is wild, but it's not the only medieval vegetable staging a comeback. Let's travel to the rolling hills of medieval France, where another forgotten crop ruled the fields: the good King Henry. This leafy green, with its arrow-shaped leaves and earthy flavor, was a staple for peasants who couldn't afford fancy spices. Its name comes from a legend about King Henry IV of France, who supposedly loved it so much he declared it food for all his people. Good King Henry was like the spinach of the Middle Ages, packed with nutrients and easy to grow in shady corners of small gardens. You could boil it, sauté it, or even eat the young shoots raw in salads. But when modern greens like kale took over, good King Henry faded into obscurity. Today, urban farmers in places like Chicago and London are rediscovering it, touting its drought resistance and versatility. Picture tossing good King Henry into a smoothie or stir-fry. It's like spinach, but with a bolder, wilder kick. What's the weirdest green you've ever eaten? Share your story below, and let's see if good King Henry can top it. As we wander through these medieval gardens, you're probably wondering how these vegetables vanished in the first place. The answer lies in the rise of global trade and the discovery of New World crops like potatoes and tomatoes. These new arrivals were easier to grow and store, pushing older plants into the shadows. But the vegetables we're exploring today are fighting back. And the next one on our list is a real game changer: the salsify. This long, slender root, often called the oyster plant, was a delicacy in medieval Europe. Its creamy white flesh has a subtle, briny flavor that reminds people of, yep, you guessed it, oysters. In the Middle Ages, salsify was a luxury, served at noble feasts alongside venison and wine. Cooks would boil it, mash it, or even fry it into crispy fritters. But by the 18th century, it was overshadowed by flashier imports. Now, salsify is popping up at farmers' markets from California to Cornwall, with chefs raving about its delicate texture. Imagine slicing salsify into thin ribbons for a salad or roasting it with garlic for a side dish that steals the show. What's a fancy vegetable you've tried that totally surprised you? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious. Speaking of surprises, let's talk about a vegetable that's so obscure it's practically a medieval secret, the rampion. If the name sounds familiar, you might be thinking of the fairy tale Rapunzel. Yup, this is the plant that inspired the story. Rampion, with its delicate purple flowers and radish-like roots, was a favorite in medieval kitchens across northern Europe. Its leaves were eaten like lettuce, while the roots were grated into soups or roasted for a peppery bite. Peasants loved it because it grew like a weed, even in poor soil. But as farming became more industrialized, rampion was left behind. Today, it's making a quiet comeback in places like Sweden and upstate New York, where foragers and gardeners are enchanted by its versatility. Picture a rampion salad with a tangy vinaigrette, or roasted rampion roots as a low-carb alternative to potatoes. Which fairy tale food would you want to try in real life? Let me know in the comments, and let's see if rampion's magic wins you over. Before we reveal our final vegetable, let's pause and think about why these ancient crops matter. In a world obsessed with processed foods and monoculture farming, these medieval plants remind us of a time when people worked with nature, not against it. They're not just tasty, they're sustainable, hardy, and packed with nutrients we've forgotten we need. Our last vegetable is proof of that, the parsnip's wild cousin, the cow parsnip. Don't let the name fool you. This isn't just animal feed. Cow parsnip, with its thick, celery-like stalks and earthy, slightly spicy flavor, was a lifesaver in medieval Europe. Vikings and Saxons used it in everything from soups to medicinal teas, believing it could ward off illness. Its massive leaves were even used to wrap food for storage. But cow parsnip is tricky. It looks similar to some toxic plants, so it fell out of favor as safer crops took over. Now, foragers in places like Scotland and Maine are carefully harvesting it, and chefs are experimenting with its bold flavor. Imagine a cow parsnip puree as a base for a hearty stew, or pickled cow parsnip stalks as a quirky garnish. What's the most adventurous vegetable you've ever cooked with? Share your kitchen experiments below, and tell me if cow parsnip sounds like your next challenge. As we wrap up this journey through medieval gardens, let's take a moment to appreciate how these 5 vegetables, skirret, good King Henry, salsify, rampion, and cow parsnip, tell a story of resilience and rediscovery. They survived harsh winters, fed entire villages, and now they're inspiring a new generation of farmers, chefs, and home cooks. Whether you're intrigued by skirret's sweet crunch, good King Henry's earthy greens, salsify's oyster-like elegance, rampion's fairy tale charm, or cow parsnip's rugged versatility, there's something here for everyone. These crops aren't just relics of the past. They're a glimpse into a more sustainable future. So, here's my challenge to you. Next time you're at a farmer's market or planting your garden, seek out one of these medieval treasures. Try cooking with them, share them with friends, and keep the story alive. Before you go, hit that like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more deep dives into the wild world of history and food. Which of these 5 vegetables are you most excited to try? Drop your answer in the comments, and let's get a conversation going. And if you want to know more about medieval life, like how they kept their castles warm or what their parties were like, let me know below, and I'll make it happen in the next video. Don't miss out on what's coming next. It's going to be epic.